Okay, here's a quick preview of the next project that I'll be undertaking. This is a Technics SU 8011. This is, I think, 25 watts per channel. Not too exciting, but they have a very low THD, so pretty good sound quality. This one I bought for not a lot of money, condition unknown, so I've opened it up, and the first thing I've noticed is all the fuses are blown. So that's the main protection fuse, and also the output protection fuses for the speakers. They're all gone. So I'm guessing there's something gone inside it. I can't see anything that looks like it's been burnt. Perhaps the output transistors here, the power packs are gone, one or both of them, or it could just be something happened, they shorted the speakers system or something like that, and it's just blown everything. So the first thing I'm going to do is replace those fuses, have a look at what's going on, whether they blow immediately or we actually get a bit of time with it before something else happens. But I think for the time being it'll just be that main power one there. I'll replace that. I have a few fuses with me, so I'll do that, see what happens. If we can actually get this to a state where it's working, then there'll be a few capacitors getting replaced and so forth. I've got a whole bunch of stuff for that, and besides that, just checking out whether there's actually anything else sort of exploded or that I haven't seen yet. I haven't flipped it over to pull out the board yet to check all the soldering. I had a quick look last night. I didn't see any particular problems with dry solder joints or anything like that, but I haven't run over it with a magnifying glass, so that will be the next thing. But in the meantime, I'm probably going to just put the fuse in, see what happens, and carry on with the camera repair. Okay, I'm back on the bench here with the Technics SU 8011. Now, there are a few issues with this unit. The fuses blew as soon as I put power in, so that led me to test the Darlington power packs. At least one of these, I'm pretty convinced, is blown. They shouldn't show short between 2 and 3 and 8 and 9, and at least one of these does on both. And I'm a bit suspect actually about this one between 8 and 9. It seems to be very low reading, so I suspect both of those are toast. Remove those, put a fuse in, and it stayed stable. It didn't blow, so pretty sure those power packs are bad. Now, another thing was this resistor here had a very big burn mark all underneath it, so I decided to have a look at that, check it out. On the spec it's supposed to be 2.2k 1 watt. I've put in 2.2k at 2 watt. No other reason except it's like 5 yen difference, and not a big deal. The resistor that came out of that was this one here. Now it reads 270 and what looks like another 0, but it's not another 0, it's actually the ohm mark. If you look at the pins here, it looks like someone's just basically cut the legs off, soldered this in, thinking that they were probably fixing a blown resistor, but what they've actually done is put something in there that's about a tenth of the value it's supposed to be. So did that contribute to the blown power packs? I don't know. Why not? It could have. There's a few other small burn marks. If you look under these are sort of 6.3 volt, I think 47 microfarad capacitors. They look burnt under the legs. They seem not to be shorted or anything, but I don't know. I'll replace them anyway. Pretty much everything else, it looks kind of okay. There were 2 transistors here and here. They're sort of like pairs for each side. The voltage readings I was getting don't match what's in the tech sheet. I don't know if that is a result of the power packs now being removed and non-functioning, but I've decided to remove them, and I'll try and get a replacement, put them in and see if it makes any difference. Basically, it's not particularly expensive. It could all be fed in from, I think, where that resistor is. I'm following the logic of the schematics anyway, so it's a possibility that they're toasted as well. It's basically the only thing else that I think could be actually wrong, so we'll just see. I did also replace, you may not be able to see them here, but the diodes for the rectification. I pulled those, tested them, they were fine, put them back in. I did actually intend to replace those with some slightly larger ones, but in fact the diameter of the legs were too thick to actually go through the holes in the PCB, so I just had to reuse these ones. And it seems to be fine. It doesn't seem to be causing any issues there. Other than that, not a lot to say. Condition of it cosmetically is actually reasonably okay. A few little problems on the front. I'll just flip it around and we can have a look. Okay, now that we're around, bit of corrosion and wear on this and this. I suppose they're about the only things that people are touching all the time. I've got a bit of an idea how that might be fixed. Bit of a ding mark here. It seems to be very common on these ones, with the aluminium sort of facade. They always seem to get a bit of a knock, and you can see there's a little bit of a knock there as well. No big deal. It's it's all there. All the decals are still there. No big scratches or gouges anywhere. I think actually what looks like wear on some of these is actually just dirt, and I'll just clean those. I find that to clean a lot of these sorts of things, the best thing is actually just water. I don't suggest using alcohol or any sort of solvent, because you're going to say goodbye to your decals very quickly. And some of these things are actually just like a plastic. These might not be plastic, these might be metal, but even so, that could be painted or whatever. I don't like using anything that I don't have to. I think water, maybe a bit of detergent if you need it, usually actually works quite well. You might have to be a bit persistent. Where you get some marks, I don't know if you can see some of these here, that sort of more ingrained dirt, I'd suggest just an eraser sometimes for difficult to shift dirt. Panels like the plastic on there, if you can get access to them, if they've got scratches, you can do a reasonably okay job with something like Brasso or some sort of metal polish, but it does need to be very, very fine, and you need to be careful. And from this shot, you can actually see the burn mark under this resistor. I don't know if this Zener diode under here is actually bad. I suspect it's not, because I'm pretty sure that all of that burning is from that resistor. And I suspect that's the reason someone actually went to replace that in the first place. Just a pity they didn't use a magnifying glass.